Welcome to the K9s for Veterans podcast, Operation Honor. Join us on this amazing journey. Hosted by Michael Tellerino, your guide through these inspiring stories along with special co-host Kenny Avery. In this podcast, we will share personal stories and highlight impactful programs that empower our veterans. Discover the impact that service dogs have in the lives of veterans. Tune in to witness heartfelt moments and transformational journeys. Get ready to connect, learn, and be inspired by our veterans' stories. Operation Honor is here to uplift and empower. Let's begin this important mission together.
And thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I am your host, along with Ken Avery, our co-host. Tonight, we have a really special podcast. We have some young ladies who are going through some really hard times with the loss of their child to PTSD suicide. So, Kat, why don't you start out telling us a little bit about yourself and more about your son?
Well, I'm a mom of 5 boys and 2 girls, and 2 of my sons had passed before the son we're gonna talk about tonight passed, so that would be 3 sons. And then my husband passed in 2022, and Matthew, who was in the Air Force, he passed in 2023. And Matthew is one of those outdoor guys. He went fishing, hunting, camping, hiking, surfboarding, snowboarding. He didn't know how to ski. He could only snowboard. And then his 4x4 is riding them in the desert. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like quite a young man. How are you dealing with the loss of your child?
Right now, it's talking to other people about Matthew and staying in my faith has got a lot to do with it. But I think my biggest helper is my therapist because I can email him, call him, and he'll respond in between when I have to go see him.
Like I said, I couldn't imagine the loss that you're feeling. It just has to be insurmountable. Tell me a little bit tell me a little bit personally about your son. What did he like to do? What was he good at? Tell us a couple little funny stories about him. I'm sure you must have a few.
Oh, yes, I do. One time, he always wanted to ride his dirt bike and become a pro dirt bike rider. Well, he went into the Air Force, but altered that. And then when he got out of the Air Force, discharged him from him having a near death experience, which I think added to his post traumatic stress syndrome. He rode his dirt bike and he came over to visit me and my husband. And I said, Matthew, look at me. And he's looking at me and just the side of his face. He goes, no, Mom, I'm good. No, Matt, look at me. And he turned this whole side of his face. Talk about fall off and burn your face and cut it and bruise it. I mean, this whole side of his face. I said, oh, my little Phantom of the Opera came to visit. And he went, yeah. So I made him take a picture with me with his face all marked up. And then the biggest thrill that I had with Matthew is when he turned 21, I threw him a surprise birthday party. Now, his girlfriend at the time, I had told her, we got to pull this off. And I told her we're going to threaten every one of his friends that are coming, that if any of them tell him, I'm just going to let my Jack Russell Terrier have fun with them. Needless to say, they all showed up at my house. Didn't park when I told them to. Matthew and his girlfriend drove up, and this is how much fun my son was. He didn't even notice that two of his friends' cars were parked on the road. He pulls into the driveway, don't even notice them, comes in the house. We all yell, "Happy birthday." And he looks at me, he goes, "How did you do this? You guys didn't tell me." I mean,
Yeah.
he was totally surprised.
God bless.
And then when he
You
opened up his gift, he was like, "Look, Mom, alcohol, and you can't take it from me." And next thing I know, his father walked behind him. "Ah, my friend. Thank you, son."
know,
And he walked away.
so dad like that too.
So he was good humored. And like I said, he does whatever he set his mind to, he went to it at 100%.
God bless. Um, where do you what where do you go for support for your loss? Do these groups help you?
I know TAPS, they have helped me a lot because they sent me, I signed up for a cruise last September to go to Alaska. And that cruise was so relaxing. I was able to defrag a little bit. And I had so many people on the ship to talk about Matthew as they talked about their children.
Right.
And at one of the ports, TAPS had taken me to the Coast Guard station because my husband always wanted to be stationed there, but never got it. And I took his dog tags and I buried them there by a tree, and they put a rock on it, went back to the ship. And this cross that I have has Matthew's ashes in it with his birthstone. And I
Yeah.
went, "Hey, Matt, Dad's happy. Now, how can I make you happy?"
Yeah.
So it was a very good cruise. And the connection I had with a lot of those people, I still have today. And then I
Yeah.
go to the VA therapist, and they're so. They're good.
You know, your son sounds like a great kid. I'm sure you miss him. And again, I can't imagine the loss that you're suffering. I want to thank you
No,
for sharing your story about Matthew with us. And just know that uh, the Forgotten Warrior Memorial is here to help the families of our fallen veterans with anything we can. So if there's anything you could think of that we could do to help you in any way, we are here for you. That's what we do.
thank you.
So
I didn't know you were there.
yeah, I mean, um, yeah, it's just know that we're here for you.
Yes,
Thank you.
please. We're here.
All
Kathy
right.
Gordon,
Thank you.
you're on.
My son is Nathaniel Irish. He was Army, and we lost Nathaniel in 2019 while he was on his second tour in Iraq.
Tell us a little bit about him.
Nate was a great kid. He was a shyster, that's for sure. He was always making jokes or being funny or always doing something. He loved playing his electric guitars. He loved his cars. He had all the fast cars. Yeah, he was a fun kid.
Uh,
And
Did he
pretty
have
much,
old school? Did he have old school cars? Did he have old school,
no,
60s?
no, he had his little CRX and his BMW, and I still have his BMW. One of his buddies has it right now. So no, he wanted all the fancy cars so he could keep up with the rest of the kids in school. So yes,
sounds like a great kid.
he was a great kid.
Was he involved in sports at all?
No, Nate didn't do no sports. He didn't want nothing to do. None of my boys wanted anything to do with sports. No.
I second that.
Yeah,
I'm
they said
not.
we don't need to go to a locker room with a bunch of dirty boys. So
Yeah, right. I totally. I don't even watch sports on TV.
hey, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'll root for our home team if they're if they're playing or whatever and stuff like that. But
Right.
go out of my way to watch them. Not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happening. So, where do you go for your support?
I have a good support system with my family and my friends. I've tried, after we lost Nate, I tried they sent me to the VA for counseling.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most traumatic thing I've ever done. She said she couldn't relate to me, so I didn't need to be there.
Right.
So besides that, I just take it every day. It's just a day by day thing.
I like I said, I couldn't imagine the pain that you're suffering.
Every day.
And no, I get it. I really do. Um, how does your family cope with it? Does he have brothers and sisters?
Mm-hmm. He has 2 brothers and a sister, and they all cope in their own way. We all, I mean, even 6 years later, we're all still struggling some, but we're a pretty close family, so we all kind of stick together. So, but they're doing okay. They're getting through it. It is what it is. So, but yeah, my middle son is having a harder time with it. They were really close in age, and they lived in the same house, and they were buddies. So, he's really struggled with it. But
Are
we all
any of them service
nope.
service at all?
No, my husband was Army and Nate was Army. But nobody else served.
How's your not get personal, but how's your husband dealing with this right now?
He's better at it than me, I guess. I mean, he handles things better than me, but it has been 6 years now, so it's getting a little bit softer, but sometimes it still feels like it was. I can still remember them walking up to my front door. So, but we kind of all stick with each other, and we do okay. I do have some groups that have really helped me. I'm not a fan of TAPS. I have their box sitting over here that I've never opened. Why? I just never got anywhere with TAPS. Nobody would respond to me. I'm way out in Montana, so we don't have a lot of stuff in Montana, especially in Billings. That we do have some events for the vets, or for the fallen, but we don't have a lot of stuff like that. And for us to do things like that, we have to travel. And it was right after COVID, and right after Nate died, there was COVID and all that. So we kind of just got lost in the wind here. So
I understand.
We get forgotten about.
I think what aggravates me the most about our military is what we're not doing for our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, truly, we're not. It seems like our guys come home and it's, well, thank you for your service. Have a great day. And, we'll see you.
Yep.
I deal with veterans all the time that struggling with PTSD, and they go to the VA, and all they want to do is give them this pill to go to sleep, this pill to wake up, this pill to stay up during the day. And, they're not getting to the root of the problem. Mm-mm. They're just not doing what's right. Yeah. I'm good friends with the director of Veteran Affairs here in Illinois. And I said, what they need to do when they know a veteran is struggling with PTSD and he's coming home, they need to let these families know that John that left is not the John that's coming home. And they need to let these families know how to deal with this and what to do for these young men. And they're not doing enough for them. Uh-oh. So that's why we built the memorial in Shanahan State Park, is because we wanted to do something to honor these fallen veterans, to thank them for our service to our country, because they paid the ultimate price. They did. Mm-hmm. And it's just a shame what we're not doing for them. So anyway, sorry for getting on that, but aggravates me.
No, no,
What
that
we're
is
doing,
true. Because,
what
like
we're
what
doing for
Matthew,
everybody else, what we're doing for everybody else that's coming into this country, free food, free medical, free this, free that, and our boys come home and it's like, thank
Good
you,
luck.
good luck, have a great day.
Yep.
And I just don't understand it. I really don't. So I want to again give you my condolence, both of you ladies, for your losses that you're suffering. And again, Kenny and I will always be here for you. If there's anything we could ever do in any way to help you, please do not hesitate to reach out, because that's the least we could do for our veterans. The least we could do. We need to start standing up for our boys that are struggling. We really do.
Yep.
Tanya, you're awful quiet.
I'm just listening. So I got an email from Manita. She again is having trouble getting on.
I know
So,
she's got no connection at all.
yeah, and I'll find out about Nedia. And then so we have both Kathys. Hi, ladies.
hi.
Hello.
And then I got another lady lined up for next podcast. Kathy Gordon, you were saying something about that they didn't accept you. Someone didn't accept you for the loss of your child.
You mean are you talking about TAPS?
Yeah, TAPS.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of TAPS. They just didn't like. You would try to get a hold of someone and no one would respond back to you. I have their box sitting down here. I never even opened up their box. I just kind of thought it was like a week after Nate was gone. I'm like, I'm already getting these boxes. I'm like, I don't know what I need a box for, but
I don't get.
they're 6 years later, so I don't know what's in it, but it's still there. But
there's actually some really neat things in there. It's like they send you like it's a book. What I got, it was like an album book, the first part of it, and then the other half part was like where you can kind of journal. I think it all depends on where you live.
it does. I have that feeling too, because I'm way out in Billings, Montana, and we don't have. I would have to travel really far to get places. I've been to North Carolina, I've been to California, I've been to some of those retreats like that, but we just don't have anything that's even fairly close that we could even like drive a few hours to.
Yeah,
Right.
That's kind of how I felt with me. I mean, Illinois, there's nothing. If it wasn't for Michael and doing that memorial, I'm telling you, if you ladies have a chance to sign up, I promise you would be so happy that you did. It was one of the most amazing experiences I ever had.
Sign up for what?
And
Yeah.
We on the memorial, we will inscribe your son or daughter's name on a pillar, and it depends on what branch they were in: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps. And then we have a ceremony, and we bring the families out. And
it's beautiful.
we talk, and I hate to say this, but as of right now, we got 93 names. And the name of that soldier or person, that military young man or woman, it doesn't matter your age. It really doesn't matter your age. I'm trying to put the words together here. Immortalized. No matter what, it's something that is going to be here way beyond me.
You know, Ken, you're right. You're absolutely right. Their name lives on forever. I'm sorry, Ken.
No. The memorial is it's a very dear and special place for me, but I get to meet the families. I get to meet you, and it's just a little bit of closure. It's a very special ceremony that we put on. Um, you really need to seriously think about it, because it's the greatest thing that honestly that we can do. Um, Michael can tell you more about it than I can. I get choked up. I apologize.
The memorial is the single most important thing that I've ever accomplished. Even though we train and provide service dogs to veterans with PTSD, the memorial is something that will go on forever. We have a full blown ceremony. We have taps. We have bagpipe players. We read the names that are already on the memorial. We invite the families to come up to the memorial and take the tape off of their son's name, displaying it for the first time in public. At the end of the ceremony, we present the family with a flag with their son's name on it. It's all about honoring these veterans that should have been honored when they came home, should have got the help they needed when they come home. I just posted the link. I believe it's on the page. Forgotten Warrior Memorial.
I was just gonna tag them. I think they're both in my group. And I'm gonna tag them from when I was there. When you posted it.
If you get a chance, visit the website, see what we do and how we do it. And if you'd like, we'd be more than happy to honor your son's name at the memorial.
I would love for you to honor Matthew.
I mean, I want you ladies to click on that link, go to that link right there, tfwm.us, and look at the memorial. It's the biggest memorial anywhere in the United States for veterans who lost that battle. So if there's anything that I've ever done in my life that I'm proud of, it's building that memorial for these brave veterans that deserve that and so much more, and I just can't believe what we don't do for our veterans to prevent them from taking their life. We're not doing enough for them. We need to do more. So I'm going to get off my little high horse about they're enough to
Kathy, both Kathys, I tagged you in my Gold Star mom group.
Okay.
To watch that video that when it was me, Mia, Shannon, a few other moms that were in that. It's amazing. I mean, it
go
really,
to the website.
Yeah.
Go to the website. Watch the whole ceremony. And if there's something you feel you'd like to honor your son with, it'd be an honor to have his name added to the memorial.
We got a wall out here last year, down by our ballpark here in Billings. And it was through Hoodies for Heroes. They built this beautiful wall. I mean, it's beautiful. And then after they built it, they turned it over to the city. But it's supposed to be all the fallen heroes in Montana on this wall. Well, they were picking and choosing who they were going to put on the wall. So since Nate died by suicide, they said that he couldn't go on the wall.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, they weren't going to go on the wall?
No.
There's
They-
there's
they
the
were-
difference. There's the difference right there. I apologize for interrupting all of you. I apologize. We don't do that. We're all about your kids. And everybody thinks just because we lost our life to suicide,
Mhm.
they don't understand. They don't look. We we immortalize names because they're heroes.
Yep.
They
Yes, they are.
they did things that most people in this country could never ever ever do, but they lost a battle. I have PTSD. I fight that battle every day. Every day I fight it.
Me too.
I don't understand and I can't comprehend what you're going through. I really can't.
Well,
And the
my kid
hardest
is on that
Well,
wall.
thing
I
that
made sure that my kid was on that wall with 9 other families that they didn't want to honor. But my kid's name is on that wall.
And let me
so
tell you, I'm
we
sorry.
literally had to go to the senator and everybody else to make sure that they were going to be honored, because that's just because they died by suicide doesn't make it any different.
No, we will only put our memorial was built solely to honor veterans who lost the battle to PTSD. We don't put anyone else on that wall. That's a special tribute to those brave veterans who lost that fight. So we just don't put anybody on that wall. We make sure that they're a veteran, they had PTSD, and they committed suicide. We want that wall to be dedicated solely for our veterans that had PTSD and lost that battle. So,
well, that was like with Matthew when he got out of the Air Force and he went back for, you know, that near death experience was still haunting him. And they told him, well, you became a firefighter. You're doing really good. And then when he couldn't take it anymore and did what he did, then I ended up, unlike the other Kathy, the fire department didn't want to recognize him because he did the ultimate no, as they called it. And when
right.
I looked at the Air Force said, hey, he left us. I said, no, you discharged him because of that near death experience that you don't want to talk about.
No,
And it's like, that's bad when the Air Force don't want to remember Matthew and the fire department, yeah, who? Yeah, all because he committed suicide. Now, if he died during a fire, different story.
Yep.
But because of suicide, yeah, he don't exist anymore. And that hurts the
you know what?
most.
That it's despicable. It really is.
But
How caring and how uncompassionate could they be to say that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So lady, I apologize for what you have to endure. Really, your veterans and your sons are brave heroes, and they need to be recognized for their service to our country more than anything.
that's why we do what we do.
Right,
That's what we're all about.
ladies, I want to thank you so much for being my guest tonight. I know it's so hard to talk about your loss at times, but I think it helps other mothers realize that they're not alone,
Yep.
that they're struggling with it too. And I think that's why Kenny and I we do this podcast so the mothers don't have to struggle in silence. They have a voice and they need to be heard. The people need to understand what your mothers are going through when they lose a child. It's not just, well, he committed suicide. No, it's not that at all. And shame on them. So, I want your voices to be heard. I want people to understand the suffering that you're going through and the pain that you endure with the loss of your child. nobody should just think it's, oh, well, terrible. So I can't thank you enough for being on my guest tonight. Anybody have anything in closing they'd like to say?
Yeah. Thank you for
I would just
inviting
like
me.
to say
and-
that. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go.
I would
Kathy,
just
go
like to
ahead.
say that if you ladies need anyone to talk to, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm always right there for you guys, okay?
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate
And
that.
Oh, you're very
it's
welcome.
our honor to have you here as our guest tonight.
And
So
thank you for honoring Matthew when the fire department wouldn't and the Air Force wouldn't. You're the only ones that really honored my son Matthew.
it was an honor to do it, believe me. It was an honor. You just keep fighting that fight.
Don't ever give up.
Oh, I don't think
Just,
these ladies have it with that in them to give up.
no,
They're pretty
but that
strong.
memory is going to last a lifetime. And remember all the good.
And Tanya, you keep doing what you're doing because you're making a difference.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You are.
Thank
Kathy,
you.
Kathy, again, my deepest condolences for your loss. God bless you. You're some brave moms.
Thank
Believe me.
you.
Kenny,
Thank you.
as usual, thank you.
You got it, brother.